As you all know that uh, after independence, India's foreign policy was initiated by Nehru. Nehru was also the first foreign minister of the country. So, as a first foreign minister of the country, Prime Minister himself shaped the foreign policy domain of India and is very popular for several policies initiated by him. There were some setbacks during his period, that was Indo-China War, and India faced lots of difficulties after that. But soon recovery took place during Indira Gandhi, and a new approach to foreign policy was taken up by her. We find that the present diplomacy or present foreign relations are different from what was there in 1950s or 60s. Even during Indira Gandhi, various policy related initiatives were left, which was taken up by next governments, and finally Narendra Modi government has given a new approach, a new shape to foreign policy. How foreign policy is started by Nehru and how it is shifted in its approach in present day government, these all we need to understand. This process will help you also understanding some present mechanism, when these present mechanisms started, organizations of the present, how it evolved, and also the interlinkages between the policy domains. So this topic is very important. The topic is the evolution of foreign policy post independence. Okay, so let's start with this discussion. Today's lecture will be evolution of foreign policy Basically, we are talking about the evolution of foreign policy during post-independence period. No, it's about post-independence period. So first, I will be giving the headings of those policy. I had discussed this in our previous year syllabus discussion in the past. So we have evolution of foreign policy. We have 4 different approaches or era which influenced India's policy. Our present foreign minister S. Jaishankar, he has also classified the evolution of foreign policy in 6 phases. I am not picking his approach, I am picking the approaches taken by other scholars, other thinkers. So first, in the evolution of foreign policy, we have first phase is Nehruvian era of idealism, that you should list. Nehruvian era of idealism. Second, shift during Indira and Rajiv. During Indira and Rajiv, there was a shift. What was that shift? I will discuss in details about those shift. Third, liberalization and new policy initiatives. Third, liberalization and new policy initiatives. And fourth, advent of right wing and majority politics. Advent of right wing and majority politics. You have listed these 4. In the evolution, we shall be discussing these 4. Okay. Nehruvian era of idealism, number 1. Shift during Indira and Rajiv, number 2. Liberalization and new economic policy initiatives, number 3. Advent of right wing and majority politics, number 4. So we shall start discussion with Nehruvian idealism. Now this discussion, what we shall do, basically you should not be in hurry, I am not in hurry. We should be minutely understanding some of the important terms, its usage also while discussing this topic, and also some linkages with history, previous year questions. Okay, that linkages we will also do. So don't be in hurry. Take things, take a pause, try to understand. If any query, ask the question. Chat box is open for you, and I will reply if it is relevant to reply. So first is what Nehruvian idealism. So it is era of Nehruvian idealism. Okay. Now, first thing I see, Nehru was an idealist person. As far as policy, public foreign policy is concerned, he was an idealist person. What is idealism? I discussed in yesterday's class. Idealism is something, when we talk about idealism, again I am recapping because it's a specific class. Idealism and realism. Two approaches, contrast approaches to foreign policy or diplomacy. Idealism and realism. They are contrasting approach. Realism says no ethics or morality if national interest affected. If there is an effect on national interest will be priority, morality will not be priority. Same thing said by Machiavelli said that everything is fair in love and war. So everything is fair in war at least. I discussed how in Ramayana period or Mahabharata period, in Ramayana period especially, morality was followed during war. In Ramayana period, moral dilemma came, but in modern warfare system we find morality takes a side route, side space. Not just in war, but also in maintaining foreign relationship, morality takes a back seat. Best example of this is, despite knowing that Pakistani soil was used for terrorist activities or promoting terrorism, US is aligning with Pakistan. Despite the knowledge that Pakistani soil has been used for terrorism, promoting terrorism, US is aligning with Pakistan. Recent alignment of US with Pakistan. Not just this, America conducted a strategic strike in Pakistan to kill Osama bin Laden. So America itself knows that Osama bin Laden was given refuge in Pakistan and a very good treatment, brotherly treatment in Pakistan. Despite that, America is having a strategic good relationship with Pakistan. These all are prompted by realism. And idealism is what? Idealism assumes that morality should be utilized in foreign relationship. Good relationship should be based on moral principles. So if global good, global interest to be followed, individual national interest can be compromised. So in realism, global interest is less important. Humanity's interest is less important. National interest is more important. In idealism, global interest, humanity's interest, interest of all concerned is more important. When it contrasts or with national interest or in contradiction with the national interest, the global interest will be chosen in case of idealism. What Nehru did, Nehru preferred idealism. Nehru's policy is called idealist policy. Okay, so his policy were ideal policy. So he failed, scholars say he failed in real politics. of the time. But I will make an analysis of this, that despite Nehru's limitation, that he could not promote national interest against global interest, he could not promote it, he could not be successful in that. But Nehru's principles and Nehru's philosophies were relevant even today. Despite the limitations, despite his failures, Nehru's policies are relevant even today. I will discuss about it. So first, to understand Nehru's idealism, during Nehru's period, certain important segments of foreign policy we have to classify. So these policy segments are: number one, his approach towards UN. Number two, non-alignment. Number three, Panchasheel principles. And number four, disarmament. Four segments are there under which we shall be studying Nehru's foreign policy, making analysis based on that. So, approach towards UN, number one, non-alignment, number two, Panchasheel principles, number three, disarmament, number four. So here, first of all, approach towards UN. First is his approach towards UN. Nehru had immense or too much faith in UN. He had immense faith and interest in UN. This is the reason Nehru approached UN when there was an Indo-Pak war, 1947. After independence, Kashmir as a region. If you have gone through the modern India part of your syllabus, you must be knowing that the bordering states, where the bordering states are princely states, the princely states could sign instrument of accession either in favor of Pakistan or in India. If a state is not border state, then the engulfment of the boundaries by other territory will allow that territory to occupy that. It happened in case of Hyderabad, Junagadh, etc. But bordering princely states could sign instrument of accession either in favor of Pakistan or in favor of India. So this case came in case of Kashmir. This part is also IR's very important segment, history of IR relating to Kashmir, international relations history relating to Kashmir. So Kashmir was governed by Raja Hari Singh. It was a princely state. So Raja Hari Singh should decide he wants to join India or Pakistan. Raja Hari Singh, like other kings also, wanted more and more concession from India. He wanted that despite signing instrument of accession, he should have some special status, special power. He was not interested in surrendering his Raja's aura status, etc. So he wanted concessions, he wanted to bargain. So he was delaying the process of signing instrument of accession. Pakistan also approached Raja Hari Singh, but he said, no, it's a standstill condition. I am not interested right now. Why? Because he wanted to bargain with India. In between, Pakistan army supported Qabilis of the Pakistan to enter into Kashmiri region. So Qabilis started entering into Kashmiri region, and they reached up to Baramulla. When they were reaching up to Baramulla, then Hari Singh got alarmed that I will not be having official status, and even I will lose unofficial status. It is better sign agreement with India. So he signed instrument of accession with India. As per the terms of the partition, the territory which is Raja Hari Singh's territory, that territory should be India's territory, because Raja Hari Singh signed instrument of accession in favor of India. But till then, this is the Kashmir's. This part of the Kashmir was occupied by, means captured by the Kabilis and Pakistani army. War with India started in 47. A significant part was occupied, captured by the Pakistani army with the help of Kabilis. Now Nehru did what? Nehru knew that UN, he had a faith in UN, why I will discuss. Nehru knew that UN will intervene, UN will try to settle the treaty. Instrument of accession says, our partition's condition says that this territory will also be India's territory because this is part of Kashmir's kingdom. So as per instrument of accession, UN will help India regain this position, because UN will be following the terms of agreements and treaties. So as per treaty, as per the conditions concerning partition, as per the Mountbatten plan, the India having rightful ownership of the territory of Kashmir because Hari Singh signed it in favor of India. So he approached Kashmir issue in UN, United Nations Security Council. They sent their observer and they said that first stop the war should be stopped, and status quo should be maintained. So UNSC supported status quo. Status quo means up to this particular territory controlled by Pakistan remained in the control of Pakistan. UNSC also said both sides should maintain restraint. What UN Security Council must have said, what Nehru expected. He expected that UN Security Council will be scolding Pakistan, will be pressurizing Pakistan, will be complaining against Pakistan. But UN Security Council said both should maintain restraint. So it said both party should maintain restraint. And Pakistan wanted that plebiscite should be done. Why? Because it is Muslim population is there. It was a Muslim dominated, Muslim majority area. Majority was Muslim. Raja was Hari Singh, but Muslim majority was there. He knew as Muslim majority voted in favor of Pakistan, East and West Pakistan, they will also be favoring the accession of this territory into Pakistan. Pakistan assuming this. But somehow plebiscite could not take place. However, India lost this position because still Nehru approached UN said maintain that status. What could have been done without approaching UN? India could have fought the war and captured the territory. This happened in case of Hyderabad. This happened in case of Junagadh. It could have fought the war and captured the territories. But Nehru did a mistake. He went to UN. Because he had immense faith in UN, he approached UN. And that came to be proved as a blunder, a mistake. This was a mistake by Nehru. Because UN did not favor India. In place of that, UN tried to mediate by balancing the things. And this balance went against the interest of India. So, why Nehru approached UN? Because UN he had immense faith in UN. Why Nehru had immense faith in UN? Why? So first reason of this was it was a multilateral body emerged to resolve issues of the world in balanced manner. He believed that UN, after Second World War, UN was created, and UN had tried to resolve various issues of the war or post-war issues. So Nehru believed that this multilateral body will be able to resolve the dispute of the globe without any biasness through neutrality. And he felt that this approach should be promoted. He felt that this approach should be promoted, means UN should be strengthened. Because India is a weak country. If any powerful country is attacking India, in that case, who will come to help India? There must be some UN like body. There are so many countries which were not decolonized, not independent that time. UN as a body can help. So UN could be helpful. UN could be helpful for newly independent or infant nations against bullied forces of imperialism. Means India just got independence. India was a weak country, infant democracy. So there could be imperial forces like Britain, France, and now emerging power like America, Russia. They could bully down the poor nations, backward nations. So there must be some multilateral body which can help. So UN could be helpful here, and he wanted to promote UN. And third thing, it is his idealism also why he preferred UN, because Article 51 mentions settlement of dispute through arbitration. If you read Article 51 is that times the preamble of international relationship, preamble of foreign policy for the country. It talks about the mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and other points also. But the major point was that disputes should be settled through arbitration. So UN can be an association or a body for arbitration. Nehru had faith in the constitution. Nehru was one of the member who drafted the constitution. He was chairman of so many committees of the constitution. So his faith in constitution was very logical. And in constitution, DPSP mentions Article 51. In Article 51, the settlement of dispute through arbitration has been mentioned. Nehru could not deviate in principle against this particular idea. Therefore, he preferred UN. But this approach was, his immense faith in UN was idealist. And this idealism led India lose a major part of India's territory which could have been captured. Now, even today, Kashmir is a bone of contention. Why India is more worried about Kashmir today? Because this part is not accessed in India, it's not part of India at present. India wants back this part. Why Pakistan is so emboldened? Because this part it already had captured. Plus, it had given some part, this part to China. Some part of the occupied Kashmir it had given to China. And for India, this part is called Aksai Chin. So Aksai Chin is captured by China. I will discuss in some other segment. So India has not in possession of this part. So India is much worried. So Kashmir is a major issue for India at present. Apart from the terrorism is a Kashmir's issue. This is very important, significant issue. Okay. So one, Nehru's foreign policy, immense faith and interest in UN, first part. Second part is non-alignment. Point number 2 is non-alignment. What is non-alignment? So there existed block politics. It is called block politics. I will discuss few points, or I will take few minutes to discuss about block politics. This block politics is there are two blocks. There are two blocks. US led blocks West, USSR led bloc East. These two blocks wanted to expand their hegemony. These two blocks were created because of the idea. This block followed idea of capitalism, and this block followed the idea of communism. And the block politics, it is very famous politics of the Cold War period. It's a very famous politics of Cold War period. Cold War is the war between these two blocks. Western bloc representing US, means US as a representative, and Eastern bloc USSR as the representative. Two blocks created. The creation of the bloc politics, we say it's a Cold War. It's a Cold War condition. I will discuss about various aspects and tenets, facets of Cold War later on. But the base was what? Capitalism in West and the communism in the East. Communism established in USSR means there was Russia. Russia had a revolution in 1917. We call it Bolshevik revolution. There was a revolution in Russia. We call it Bolshevik revolution. Bolshevik revolution 1917. With Bolshevik revolution, Lenin came to power. First communist government in the world was executed. So Russia became the first country where communist government was installed in the year 1917 through Bolshevik revolution. Bolshevik party ruled there. Lenin was the leader. Capitalism is ideologically against communism, because communism wants that the resource capital should be controlled by the lower class, proletariat. And Marx had suggested that there is a possibility of revolution. The proletariat will be having revolution against, revolt against the capitalist bourgeoisies. So capitalism wants to expand market, use of the capitalist resources for the development of a country. But communism is against this. So ideologically, these two are opposite. Therefore, the capitalist nations, US led that nation. Britain was also supporting. So capitalist countries wanted to contain the advance of the communism. Russia wanted to make changes in the political system of other parts of the world. It wanted to intervene into Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, other countries also. And with the passage of time, Russia had made so many countries its satellite states. Means communism was advancing more and more. The Czech revolt, Czechoslovakia's revolt, attempt to change guard in Yugoslavia, revolt in Poland, various other attempts by Communist Party in Eastern European countries. So Communist of Russia wanted to make other countries communist. They wanted to expand their domain in Africa, Asian countries. And America wanted to check this practice. America wanted to contain this practice. So both countries was on the verge of the war. America had sent a white army to crush the Red Army after First World War, when the Bolshevik Revolution took place. America was secretly planning so many things. America had not discussed with Russia. Russia was its ally in Second World War. But Russia was unaware that America has a bomb called nuclear bomb. Both were suspicious against each other during Second World War. Both were fighting in the same camp. They were in the same camp. They were against the Germany or Japan. They were in the same camp. They were the allied countries. But internally they had conflict. Internally they had the tension against each other. They had distrust for each other. And this distrust grew after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That Moscow or Russia started feeling that America is not a true friend. America is an enemy. It has tried to crush the communist revolutions in the past. America is suspicious. We can't trust them. They have atom bomb and they can throw this to us also. It is threatening us also. So Russia developed atomic arsenal. When hydrogen bomb was tested by America, within 1 year, Russia followed suit. Russia also acquired it. Same thing happened. Russia when sent the satellite Sputnik, America got alarmed. America developed its warfare missile technology, submarines. Russia also trying to follow it. So arms race started between these two. This is Cold War politics. The Cold War politics started post Second World War. It all started post World War II. Now what is happening? US tried to bring more and more nations in its favor in their bloc. And USSR want to bring so many nations in their bloc. When suppose UK is in this bloc or Pakistan is in this bloc. So this bloc will be enemy, Pak will be enemy, UK will be enemy of the Eastern bloc. So here Czechoslovakia is there, Poland is there, then they will be enemy of the West. So in economic matter, in military matter, the bloc West will be getting help from the West only. Bloc East will be getting the help from the East only. Nehru, Nasser, Sukarno, Marshal Tito, 4 prominent leaders of the world. This is I am discussing about non-alignment or NAM, non-aligned movement or non-alignment movement. So there emerged the idea of NAM, non-alignment movement. M stand for movement. non-alignment movement. This movement started, it has its root in the Bandung Conference. You can write 1955. It is an Afro-Asian conference held in Bandung, Indonesia. And four prominent leaders were there here. Nehru from India, Abdel Nasser from Egypt, Marcel Tito, Yugoslavia, and Sukarno from Indonesia. Nehru's role is somehow very important, very significant. These four leaders or four countries took the lead. 29 nations conference took place, but four countries took the lead. And they went ahead that they will not be joining any bloc politics to keep nations away from bloc politics. So to keep away from bloc politics, this idea not to align with the Eastern power or Western power, this is called non-alignment. Today we say non-alignment is irrelevant. There may be a question asked in this way. In place of non-alignment, the Modi government or the present rightist government is preferring multi-alignment. So multilateral engagement today it prefers. So from non-alignment to multi-alignment means aligning with USSR or present day Russia and aligning with US also without getting influenced by their rivalry. US and USSR, US and Russia are rivals. In matters of Ukraine, US wants Russia should withdraw, stop war. And Russia is against NATO's advancement, NATO's interference in Ukraine's matter. Both are enemy on this front. India is engaged with US and also with Russia, both. Only recently hard stance taken by Trump administration, and India is searching for the counter to that strategy. India is in the process of searching for counter to that strategy, that in matters of Ukraine war, America has imposed some financial sanctions or a penal tariff on India. America has imposed. India is searching for its alternative. India has taken some steps against it. In SCO summit, I will discuss how India has taken some decisions. India has also taken various steps, but India is searching for a counter comprehensive strategy against US policy of sanction in matters of Ukraine war. So from non-alignment we have entered into multi-alignment, multilateral alignment we have entered. But there was non-alignment. In Nehru's period there was non-alignment. So non-alignment means to keep nations away from bloc politics. Why? Newly independent countries could not afford another war. First, various reasons are there for non-alignment. It was a master stroke of policy, foreign policy. Means India already faced numerous famines. Condition was such during Second World War that lakhs of people died of food, of the absence of food, of hunger. Famine had taken a toll of millions of lives around the world. Second World War's devastation and colonial exploitation made the countries feeble, weak, economically so poor. In that condition, the bloc politics, there was more probability that bloc politics could lead towards further war. My grandfathers used to say that in 1950s we were always thinking that today or tomorrow, any time, third world war could start. War-like condition was there. There is a famous incident called Cuba Missile Crisis, 1962-63. It was seeming that war will be taking place today or maybe tomorrow. Every day there was a feeling that war could start every day. My grandfather used to say that we used not to sleep. Some days when siren used to ring in nearby area, that may be some attack, there may be some war. So war-like condition was there. Imagine bloc politics could lead towards war, and the members of the blocs were forced to become the part of the war. What was wise decision? We can't afford war. Why should we join politics of either bloc? But will the bloc allow you to be neutral unless you are united? And even if they allow that, okay, you are neutral, but they will see this neutrality as hostility. That why you are silent? Why you are not favoring us? Russia could think that why India not supporting Russia, USSR. US could also think why you are not supporting us. You are also our enemy. And India without a policy could not emphasize that they need to be neutral. So they made it clear that we have a policy. What is the policy? That we can't afford war. So it was first reason why non-alignment is this. Second reason, sovereignty. Freedom. What is sovereign? Sovereign means free to take its own decision. Power of its own, sovereign. Means no external force is deciding the peace, war with anyone. India becoming the bloc member, its decision to join friendly relationship with some Eastern European country could be taken by America if India is part of West bloc. If India is part of Eastern bloc, India could not have independent relationship with UK, France. So sovereignty, freedom in international relations. Second. Third part, reaping the benefit from whole world was needed. That means India or India like country, like that time or Indonesia, if we talk about Egypt, we talk about Yugoslavia, we talk about, or other NAM members, they could not afford that. Oh, if we don't have relationship with US, it will work. No, we can't afford. We needed friendship with US, UK, France, Germany, Japan, USSR, China. Every country's friendship was required. So reaping the benefit from whole world was needed. Why? Economic front, economically, militarily, strategically. Although non-alignment would not be leading towards military support, but at least for developing some basic infrastructure, help could be needed. So economic benefit, India could have a trade relationship with Russia, with US, with UK, with other Eastern European countries if India is not part of bloc politics. So reaping the benefit from whole world, not some segment of the world, not either West or East. And according to Nehru, Nehru assumed that NAM as an independent organization will be a collective unity against the bloc politics. So collective unity against bloc politics. They are collectively united. It enhanced India's reputation in the world, Nehru's reputation in the world. Marshal Tito became popular. Nasser or Sukarno became global heroes because of this. It was also felt that these leaders could prevent or stop war. If the two blocs are fighting, the third party is the third world nations, non-aligned countries, they could mediate, they could work to prevent war, they could work to stop war, although they were too weak. But it was expected that they can do. So what non-alignment what non-alignment brought? It brought a strategic distance from the bloc politics. A strategic distance from the bloc political strategies to keep a country away from the dominance of the West or of the Eastern giant USSR. So what we see, Nehru's non-alignment is a very significant policy, is a very important policy. It took India's reputation to its height. But non-alignment, here Nehru had some mistakes to be conducted, but non-alignment was, sometimes it was felt that non-alignment lost its relevance. It happened especially after 1962's war. 1962, when war between India and China took place, Nehru had to approach US for some military support, air defense related support. India had to sign some agreement with US, and non-alignment's irrelevance or non-alignment's failure could be visible. So when Nehru approached the US for support after Indo-China war, it seems Kennedy was the president that time. It seemed that NAM rule losing relevance because India is coming closer to US. But that also shows Nehru was not a blind idealist. Here, in the interest of the country, he could become close to some of the countries of the bloc politics. So Nehru's realism was visible after Indo-Sino war, Indo-China war. Okay. So second, non-alignment by Nehru. And third comes Panchasheel. 5 cardinal principles. It is what? It is 5 cardinal principles for peaceful coexistence. This agreement was signed by Nehru. Panchsheel agreement was signed by Nehru with the Tibet of China. Panchsheel was signed by Nehru with Tibet of China. China. Okay. Now, what are these principles? 5 principles are there. It is said that Indira somehow practiced Panchsheel principles. Rajiv Gandhi wanted to revive it. Gujarat doctrine carries some of the components of it. In present policies of the nations, some of the elements of Panchsheel remains. Even in the 10 principles of NAM, non-alignment movement, some points of Panchsheel was there. Okay. So what is Panchsheel? What are the 5 principles, cardinal principles? Mutual respect for each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Non-aggression, non-interference in internal affairs, mutual benefit and equality. And fifth was peaceful coexistence. Write it down. So mutual respect for each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, mutual non-interference in internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. Why is this is very important? Like if I make analysis of this particular principle, if Nehru was the only person who crafted this, Nehru was the mastermind. But Nehru failed. Nehru failed to realize that he is playing an ideal politics and the other party is playing a real politic. China was playing real politic. That is why we say Nehru's foreign policy failed. Indo-China war is called Himalayan blunder. Why Himalayan blunder? Because Nehru signed a treaty with Panchasheel agreement was signed with Tibet of China. So what happened? Like when this agreement was signed, Panchasheel agreement was signed. Panchasheel agreement with Tibet or Tibet of China, 1954. So here 5 points were there. Now what happened? Nehru's renounced India. India gave up its communication, military, postal, etc. rights over Tibet of China. Agreement was signed with Tibet of China. And these rights India had during British period. It was traditionally India had right British agreements. British laws had given India some connections on military front, communication system, postal system established between two countries. India gave up. China refused to recognize Tibet to be autonomous region. China refused to recognize. So Nehru is playing ideal politics. And what? It's an ideal politics and he is signing agreement. These points. On the other hand, China, and one more thing, Nehru was, there is a People's Republic of China. At present, we have a country, China, we call People's Republic of China. This government, People's Republic of China, was in exile. It was running from Taiwan. And there was Republic of China. So Republic of China was the communist and People's Republic of, nationalist, and People's Republic of China was communist. India wanted that People's Republic of China should also be recognized. It should be given status in the UN. India was fighting for China's status in the UN. People's Republic of China had no status in the UN. Republic of China was having a membership in the UN. Nehru is fighting for China's membership. On the other hand, China not recognizing India's stand of the Panchasheel. Even China refused to China's stand. Tibet is not autonomous. It annexed Tibet. India gave asylum to Dalai Lama. Tibet's government in exile at Dharamsala. Even today, Dharamsala is the seat of Dalai Lama. Dharamsala, Himachal Pradesh. Okay. So India gave asylum to Dalai Lama, but China says no, Tibet is not autonomous region. Plus, China is not accepting the McMahon line. China not accepting McMahon line. McMahon line was agreed upon by British India. McMahon line was drawn by British India, was recognized as a boundary of India and China. And Tibet signed the agreement. China did not. China says, no, we don't accept McMahon line. So McMahon line allows Aksai Chin as India's part, India's territory. But China says, no, it's not McMahon line, we don't agree upon, we don't accept. And Aksai Chin is India's part. Even Arunachal Pradesh is shown by China as its own territory. Recently, one of the citizen of India, Arunachal Pradesh resident, went to China on India's visa. That person was humiliated by Chinese officials because China had started giving stapled visa to Arunachal Pradesh residents. I will discuss about this point later on. So China claiming Arunachal Pradesh, China's part. China claiming Aksai Chin, China's part. Major part of Sikkim to be China's part. So China is playing this politics, and Nehru is very liberal towards China. Ultimately, China attacked. Nehru is playing Panchasheel, principle-based politics here. Nehru is suggesting, and alternatively, China's stand is a realist stand. It's a realist stand, and China's aggression. Nehru says non-aggression. China's aggression, 1962. India lost this war, lost huge territorial positions in that war. India had to come to terms. So this Indo-China policy is Nehru's failure. Indo-China policy failure of Nehru. Okay, this failure of Nehru. So Nehru failed in his foreign policy. There is a book also, Himalayan Blunder. There is a book called Himalayan Blunder on this subject. This book was banned by the then government. This book is banned because it points out Nehru's mistakes. Book was banned. So it is said that Panchasheel was Nehru's mistake. Panchasheel was idealist policy. But if you look at these principles, world order or world peace and security is possible only through these principles. So even if countries should be ready to play a real politic, it is desired, it is required that in the international arena, international relations should be based on the Panchasheel. Panchasheel could be guiding principles for a just international relation in the globe to maintain humanity's peaceful coexistence. So even though it is not practiced, it is always suggested. So it may not be practice, but it is prescriptive. It is suggested. Even though ideal, Nehru's policies were ideal, it is needed, it is need of the world to make a proper global order. These principles are very important. Got the point? So we discussed Nehru's ideas, Nehru's foreign policy. Now coming on to after Nehru, a brief period was there of Lal Bahadur Shastri. No major event took place in Shastri's period, Shastri's era. After Nehru, it is Lal Bahadur Shastri. During his period, first was Shastri Bandaranaike Pact. Bandaranaike means Sri Lanka. India Sri Lanka Pact was signed. Number 2, second Indo Pak War. 1965 took place during his term. And Tashkent Agreement or Declaration was signed. Same year, 1965. What happened in Tashkent Agreement? India, Pakistan had entered into Kashmiri territory, Kashmiri part of India's territory. India attacked, then India went to Pakistani region, occupied so many parts of the territory. Russia wanted that the region should not be disturbed. America was also in favor of Pakistan for various reasons. So Russia in favor of peace in the region, America in favor of Pakistan. China already had fought war with India in 1962. So China was naturally in favor of Pakistan. These all conditions pressurized India to sign an agreement. Pakistan also wanted peace because India had capacity to enter into Pakistani territory. India was emerging as industrial power. In this background, Pakistan also came to terms on table. And what happened? Tashkent Agreement took place. This agreement was there to create pre-war condition. A pre-war condition will be created. Territory occupied will be handed over to respective countries. Pakistan will hand over to India. India will hand over to Pakistan. But no major or serious breakthrough took place in Tashkent Agreement. So brief, Lal Bahadur Shastri's term came. We don't say that a shift in the foreign policy scope was there here. Shift came only during Indira Gandhi's period. So then comes to next phase of foreign policy in India, evolution of foreign policy in India. Shift during Indira Gandhi's period. Now, major events and developments in the Indira Gandhi's period. There was first Indo-Russia relationship. Number 1. Number 2, creation of Bangladesh. Indo-Pak War, 1971. Simla Agreement, 1972. Operation Smiling Buddha, first peaceful, or it's better to write first nuclear test, during Indira Gandhi's period. Major events during Indira Gandhi's periods are this. Now, we see here there was early revival. First, there was revival. In this period, we can say, I'll discuss these points one by one. So, this was a revival from 1966 to 1971, and realist policy from 1971 to 1994. Sorry, 1984, Indira Gandhi's period. Indira Gandhi's strategy was a realist strategy. Although she practiced some of the policies of Nehru in her earlier period, she changed Nehruvian approach. She became realist. There are various reasons for Indira to become realist, but she was bold, energetic, distinguished, having distinguished thinking. She could be unique in her perspective. She broken all bondages to take new decisions. Indira was definitely a very significant leader from the perspective of India's status in the international arena. India had no global standing as a nuclear power. India's first nuclear test, 1974, given a signal to America and other parts of the world that India could be a nuclear power. Plus, India's attempt to carve out a new country, Bangladesh, from Pakistan. That time there was East Pakistan and West Pakistan. So East Pakistan became Bangladesh. Awami League government was established. Mujibur Rahman became the head of the government there. Her attempt to carve out a new Bangladesh, given a message to the world that India is a very prominent leader in the South Asia and India has potential to lead the global South. Those days, global South term was not there. But the message was very clear to other countries of the world in the South that India can create or India can support creation of new territories. India can fight decolonization process more effectively than other countries. So India had been a colony of the British. India has sensitivity for the colonies. So India can fight for them. India can work together with those colonial countries in their favor. This message first created. Today India is a leader of the global South. The third world countries or poor developing countries are with India. India, Brazil, South Africa combined together. They are providing leadership to the global South. That time this message for the first time given. So it was Indira Gandhi's period. What shift took place? So shift from idealism to realism. A realist policy, foreign policy was initiated during Indira Gandhi's period. Now what are the more important developments of the phase? First of all, if you look at 1960s period, in 1960s period, Indo-China War, then Indo-Pak War. In both the cases, we see there was a clear-cut American biasness in favor of Pakistan. China came closer to Pakistan because India was enemy of China and Pakistan was enemy of India. Enemy's enemy is friend. And in this background, China started supporting the military designs of Pakistan. Even China clandestine way, secret way, started helping Pakistan develop its nuclear arsenals. That period it was very slow. So 60s was a period when India had no global power support. In this background, Indira Gandhi went to America and was successful in getting the new hybrid seed for agricultural revolution in the country. We called Green Revolution. So it is Indira's diplomatic success. What is diplomatic success? So US transferring new hybrid seeds for agricultural revolution in India. Okay, that we call Green Revolution for this period. We call it Mexican seed came. Number one. Number two, US supported with food supplies. There was a famine in India. So project called Sip to Mouth. Sip to Mouth. It was an humanitarian assistance given by US to India. It was Indira's success, diplomatic achievement. Simultaneously, she was against, means she was neutral in matters of US attacking Vietnam. She did not favor either Russia or America in their designs, their respective wars. She was neither supporting US to go against USSR nor supporting USSR to go against America. So remaining neutral, remaining non-aligned, she got help from US. It is her diplomatic success. And then she was successful in getting for India a friendship agreement, Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty. Indo-Soviet Friendship Treaty took place in 1971. From here starts a new relationship between USSR and India. From this period, USA Diego Garcia incidents was there. So from this period onwards, we see that India aligned with USSR strategically. A brief period of resentment in Gorbachev's period. Exception to this, Russia became an all-weather friend. So friendship with Russia started with Indira Gandhi in 1971. During Rajiv Gandhi's period, a brief turmoil in the relationship came, but ultimately the relationship with USSR continued. Even after disintegration, Russia remained an all-weather friend. Got the point? So it is Indira's diplomatic achievement of that period. Now next, the biggest achievement of Indira Gandhi's period was the creation of Bangladesh. creation of Bangladesh. Now, it is a also Indo-Pak War, 1971. I'll discuss Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia is a Indo-Pacific issue with America, and a general issue where it was trying to militarize Diego Garcia, captured by US as a base it created. I'll discuss it separately. So creation of Bangladesh is a very significant development of for Indira Gandhi's period. It's a milestone in India's foreign relationship. Why? First of all, understand what happened, how Bangladesh was created. So Bangladesh, Pakistan, you know that Pakistan was militarily governed. Okay. So General Ziaul Haq, before that Zardari, Bhutto, Yahya Khan. So military control always dominated Pakistani politics. And Pakistan was divided into two parts. There was West Pakistan, proper Pakistan today. East Pakistan, today's Bangladesh. The people, there was a movement in the Bangladesh in favor of Awami League. Election took place, Awami League got 98% votes here. Sorry, 98% seats in the Bangladeshi parliament. But the military supported government of Pakistan did not allow Mujibur Rahman to form the government. They started civil disobedience movement. And there was military tortures, humanitarian crisis came. There was a killing of or extrajudicial killing of lakhs of people by Pakistani army. The Bangladeshi people facing economic difficulty, food crisis, they started crossing boundaries, entering into Indian territory, northeastern parts of the country, including Assam, Tripura region, entering into Bengal, etc. So India was also facing a humanitarian crisis or refugee crisis that time. But India decided to support democratic movement. America was clear that it will be supporting Pakistan. Indira Gandhi diplomatically tried to manage America. She got some success in this regard. And Indo-Pakistan war started. Within 10 days, Indian army crushed the Pakistani design. And Pakistan came to term. They surrendered unconditionally. 90,000 soldiers of the Pakistan army were captured. And India had occupied lots of territory from this war. This led to culmination towards creation of Bangladesh as a country. Today, what is Bangladesh? Who is Bangladesh? Bangladesh is a nation created by India. And imagine Bangladesh goes against Indian design. No? So in Hindi, it can be called Ehsan Faramosi. Means someone is supporting you to stand, become independent, helping you during humanitarian crisis, and you are going against the same country in favor of the country which had atrocities upon you. So now Bangladesh is joining hands with Pakistan against India. India had not just made Bangladesh independent. India had provided financial assistance to Bangladesh, given support to refugees who had came and settled in the country. India unilaterally handed over enclaves of the Bangladesh to Bangladesh. Various other moral support, global platform support was provided by India to Bangladesh as a country. So here what is visible, this war, creation of Bangladesh, this war, India emerged as South Asian giant, great power, and image of a just country available for help during military or humanitarian crisis. India was passing through, there was a slogan in India that time, Garibi Hatao. India has acute poverty. Poverty was there, unemployment was there, economic instability was there. India faced the famines in the past years. Despite that, India openly with great heart helped Bangladesh that time. It given message to the world that if some humanitarian crisis will take place, India is ready. India will not just provide military support, any country can give, but financial assistance, humanitarian support, allowing refugees a safe passage, safe settlement. And that refugee even today creating crisis in Assam, huge demographic changes has taken place. A culture of migration or infiltration started. That time onwards, India recognized, okay, all right, you have problem in the country, come to us, we'll help you. It started becoming culture. Bangladeshis started sneaking into Indian territory illegally. And one estimate says that 2 crore Bangladeshis are there in the country. They are bringing demographic change. They are creating other kinds of law and order problems. And this phenomena has been made more complex by Rohingyas who settled in Bangladesh, then sneaked into Indian territory. Rohingyas creating new types of law and order problem. What is SIR? How SIR is significant? In this context, SIR is very important. Special intensive revision by Election Commission is very important. Making corrections in this background is required. So India got the image, this kind of image. Everyone knew in the world, everyone knew that America is helping during post-war restructuring. Why America helping? America has its own interest. America wants market. But India is helping not because of its own diplomatic gains. India has its own problems. India not focusing on that focused on Bangladesh humanitarian crisis. That was a clear message of image of the country. And credit goes to Indira Gandhi for this. So Indira Gandhi's achievement of this was Indo-Pak War 1971. After the war, an agreement took place. It's called Simla Agreement. Simla Agreement is relevant even today. Discussed even today. Okay. So we discussed what? These 2 points we discussed. Now we'll discuss about Simla Agreement 1972, Indira Gandhi's period. This agreement was signed between Indira Gandhi, Indian side Indira Gandhi, and Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Okay, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and Indira Gandhi signed this Simla Agreement. So, in this agreement, the major points, major elements was returning back of respective occupied territory. Especially India agreed because India had more and more territory occupied. Pakistan occupied very less. India had occupied so many territories. So India agreed that India will be returning back those territories. Assume Pakistani delegation, Pakistani prime ministers, Pakistani generals coming to India, and they are like begging, they are manipulating, they are showing that they are so good friend. Oh, we are neighbor, we are friend, we are the child of the same mother, like that. And India showing its human face, moral face. Okay, it's your territory, take it. Would Pakistan show the same gesture? Pakistan has always stabbed in the back of the country. Always stabbed in the back. I will discuss with you how Indus Water Treaty, most generous treaty of the world, where a country is renouncing its sovereign rights over the river, and 80% of the water of the 6 rivers goes to one country against the interest of another country. Such a biased agreement, Indian leadership accepting it, Nehru signing that treaty 1961, and Pakistani people, they crying and they manipulating, they are showing such a gesture that they are weak, they need it, its support is very important. Once India will provide, there will be always permanent good relationship. India hopes and India gives to Pakistan. India has always shown moral gestures towards Pakistan, moral support to Pakistan. But Pakistan backstabbed. They are known for treachery. They are known for deceive. So Pakistan can't be trusted. Now, after years and years of Pakistan treacherous attempts, betrayals, the leadership recognized that we can't trust Pakistan. Pakistan, you can trust an insane dog. पागल कुत्ते को आप ट्रस्ट कर सकते, बट यू कांट ट्रस्ट पाकिस्तान. दिस वाज वन स्कॉलर इज राइटिंग इन हिज वर्क that insane dogs have a pattern of acting. Pakistan does not have a pattern. And various incidences of the past shows that Pakistan, when you are writing as a UPSC aspirant, how better relationship with Pakistan can be maintained, and you write some ideal answers. You must write, I'll suggest you. But diplomacy cannot work. Diplomacy has never worked. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's policy initiatives, I will discuss with you. Soon the Lahore delegation went, Kargil war took place. Just after Pervez Musharraf's visit, welcoming, so much of pomps, honor given, parliament attack took place, and Pakistan withdraw. Musharraf saying something in India, returning back saying something else. So Pakistan can't be trusted. Simla agreement, Indian from their side unilaterally decided to renounce. That was a mistake. Strategically, it was a mistake. So India agreed that they will return back the respective territory which India had occupied in the war. Second, Pakistan will not unilaterally alter LOC. Pakistan will not unilaterally alter LOC. Okay. Resolution of dispute by bilateral means, including Kashmir. This was the great achievement of the Simla Declaration. It's a great achievement of the Simla Declaration because what had happened? Nehru's mistake. Nehru went to UN. Oh, come, mediate. So, arbitration of the third party will not be there. All Indo-Pak issues will be resolved through bilateral means. Even Kashmir issue. Pakistan can't say UN says, UN observers. So all UN observers who came to Kashmir, they lost their relevance. Any office of UN in Kashmir lost its relevance after Simla Agreement. Because now on Kashmir issue also, India and Pakistan will sit together and resolve issues. Why this point is very important? Why Simla Agreement again comes to news? Recently, when Operation Sindoor started by India, India tagged, India, you see, Pakistani infrastructure of military strategic significance. Pakistani military infrastructure was crushed by India in Operation Sindoor. And what happened? Because of this, Pakistan was urging for peace. In between, the phone call came from US. And Trump started claiming that Trump mediated the peace. Trump mediated the peace. Pakistani side changed their stance. When they are standing in front of Trump, they are saying that, oh, Trump, you helped us bring a peace. We are both nuclear power. There could be big war. And you stopped it. But in other diplomatic fronts, they are saying that no, it was not Trump administration. It was a bilateral agreement between two parties to resolve Operation Sindoor or this issue. So Pakistanis are known for changing the stances. But agreements are existing. There are agreements are existing. This agreement is Simla Agreement. According to this agreement, Pakistan and India will be resolving their dispute bilaterally. India, if don't want, Pakistan can't impose a third party for mediation of disputes. So Pakistan, as Sanu says, by jungle law, not humanly. Yeah, IMF provides fund to them. World Bank is giving financial support to them. China is in favor. We will discuss so many things as we have to discuss Indo-Pakistan relationship, Indo-China relationship, and so many points we have to cover here and there. So these points will come in current developments. We will discuss so many parts. So today's law is not governed by human components, no, the realist world. And Pakistan is most untrustworthy community in the world. We can't trust them. As a teacher, I am saying, and as a student also, you can write. Those days when we used to write mains examination, those days balancing was required. But now examiners also know. Is a just hypothesis, hypothetical idea that no, we should develop friendly relationship with Pakistan. Hypothetical idea. Now we need to change diplomacy. S. Jayasankar changed this approach. That foreign policy should also, and the ambassadors, envoys, foreign analysts should also think beyond Indo-Pak friendship. Because whatever you do, there will be betrayals. So hard stance on foreign policy lines are needed. And if it reflects in your answer, it will be appreciated, especially with Pakistan. So resolution of disputes by bilateral means this was a big achievement of the treaty. And even today, these points are in discussion. Operation Sindoor, claim for help, India, Pakistan mediate. Got the point? Now, fourth part of the Indira Gandhi's achievement of or change in the whole stance of Indira Gandhi, that was Operation Smiling Buddha, first nuclear test. (1974). India claimed it to be a peaceful nuclear explosion, not targeted against any country, from the back channels. Support from Russia was there, and India shown to the world India's growing strategic position. India shown to the world that they have the nuclear capabilities. This message went to the world that India has nuclear capabilities. Means India can come forward with nuclear weapons anytime. And this is the reason it alarmed. This alarm came to Pakistan, to China and US also, both. All of them, they got alarmed. And various sanctions were imposed by US on India. US has changed its stance. US started coming closer more. Already Henry Kissinger, the US Secretary of State 1971, they said that by logic we are with Pak. Means they have all logics to support Pakistan in the Indo-Pakistan war. And after nuclear testing by India, the US administration proved that what they thought during Indo-Pakistan war was right. And after this, then US started pressurizing India for not having nuclear test in the future, nuclear disarmament by India unilaterally, no right to non-nuclear state to acquire nuclear power, etc. They started thinking over this subject. And Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, creation of National Suppliers Group, etc., Nuclear Supplier Group, etc., NSG. These all came in the wake of India acquiring nuclear status, nuclear power. And India had to show its approach to foreign policy, how India diplomatically manages. This was well managed by Atal Bihari Vajpayee when the second nuclear test was conducted at Pokhran. Well managed by him. We'll discuss in our next segment of discussion. So here India's growing strategic position with this nuclear explosion and attracting attention from West. In this context, India's image risen. Even West is seeing India from negative point of view. That was also India's gain, that West is giving more attention to India. India became a force which could not be ignored. These combined together, these situation circumstance combined together, given India to come in a more comprehensive manner in the foreign policy arena. And Rajiv Gandhi got the opportunity to raise the issue of disarmament, reforms in the UN, on the background of India's gaining this status. So, during Indira Gandhi, what revival took place? Realist policy number 1. Playing a hard ball. Nuclear weapon. Nehru was against this. Indira was in favor of this. Realist policy, playing a hard ball. Image makeover. Means India is not a country which can be ignored, isolated. India is not like other nations, like other big countries were South Africa, Brazil, big countries were there. But like them, India can't be ignored. Several India-like countries exist. So big populous countries, Bangladesh also that, Argentina, Indonesia, Brazil, South Africa, Canada, so many nations are there. But India emerged as the leader among them, a different country among them. And the seed was sown during this period. What was lacking in Indira Gandhi's policy? She never thought of going into the soft power. There were other aspects of diplomacy available. She never tried it. She could have enhanced or made better her relationship with ASEAN countries. So ASEAN group was created 67. They could be approached by Indira Gandhi. Or Eastern countries like Japan or Australia, New Zealand, they could be brought in the domain of treaty. But much appreciation to these ideas was not given by her administration. So policy during Indira Gandhi remained confined to a unilateral approach to acquiring weapons or giving answers to some Western questions. Okay. So this is up to Indira Gandhi's period. What shift in Rajiv's approach? A bit change came during Rajiv's period. Rajiv Gandhi's period. Attempt to disarmament, revival of Indo-China relations. Attempt was made. Bid for Russian support. Encouraging SAARC politics. Indira Gandhi did not talk about disarmament. Rajiv Gandhi talked about disarmament. Nehru talked about disarmament. Because Rajiv realized that there was a arms race. East and West blocks are heading towards arms race. And world is sitting on the explosives. Anytime there could be a trigger and there could be blast, whole world could be destroyed. So disarmament, complete nuclear disarmament was required. Russia and America, once they sat together, we will discuss when we'll discuss nuclearization, this denuclearization as a policy, global order policy. We'll discuss about it. We'll discuss about the development since nuclear testing was done. Then the agreement start signed. Then recent NPT was signed, NSG was signed, CTBT, etc. We'll discuss at one go. But for your understanding, Russia and America wanted to have a complete nuclear disarmament, but they could not agree. They could not agree. They were pressurizing India that India must nuclearly disarm. India must sign an agreement that they will not be developing nuclear weapons. Uranium production or the uranium should not be used for weapon purpose. It will be used for civil nuclear purpose only. They wanted India to pressurize India to come to this term. Rajiv Gandhi did not accept. When America and India failed in the agreement of complete nuclear disarmament, it got excuse. India got excuse that if you are not coming to term, how can you pressurize us? How can you say us to compromise our sovereign right? But in between, Rajiv Gandhi was active. In 1988, special UN session, he wanted an action plan of how nuclear disarmament could take place. So India's stance was that there must be an action plan, a concrete action plan that how nuclear disarmament could take place. Rajiv Gandhi was interested in this. Rajiv Gandhi believed that unless world is going beyond this arms race, energy can't be invested in the upgradation of technology, economy, etc. He is known for various technological revolution in the country. Telecommunication revolution took place in India during his term. So Rajiv's one policy concerning disarmament. He wanted to revive Indo-China relationship and he visited China for this purpose. And some agreement was signed concerning military cooperation, resolving border disputes, and some sort of economic ties. But a big breakthrough like Indo-China becoming great friends, it could not happen. Okay. So he visited China. He tried to revive Indo-China relationship. He also tried to have more or bigger Russian support. But here some disappointments were there. Because economically condition of USSR composed of 16 countries. 16 countries combined together, they formed Union Soviet Socialist Republic. So USSR was on the brink of economic collapse. And Gorbachev when came, he wanted to disintegrate. There was his two policies, Perestroika and Glasnost. So he was heading towards Perestroika, Glasnost. With Reagan, he could have signed a deal under which he will be going ahead with his plan of disintegrating, allowing states to get independence, so that Russia came out of this difficulties, economic turmoil. So Gorbachev was not interested much in bloc politics. So Gorbachev had his own plan. Under this plan, Gorbachev made a statement. In that statement, he said that there must be balancing of power in South Asia. India tries its hegemonic position. India wants to have super position. And it should be balanced. In this balancing of power, China is also a player. So Gorbachev's statement that India wants hegemonic position in South Asia. India wants an hegemonic position in South Asia. His statement spoiled sport, spoiled it. And he included China in that balancing of power. That was not favorable to India. So here he tried to get Russian support, but he could not. At that time, condition was not such, so he failed. And then comes emerging SARC politics, encouraging SARC politics. SARC was established in 1985 in Bangladesh. South Asia Association of Regional Cooperation, in which India definitely a bigger player. Pakistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives. These countries were there, 7 member countries, SARC were there. SARC's revival could be beneficial for India. India's economic recovery, India's emerging towards economic power, SARC could be helpful. So multilateral arrangement could help India gain its position of a global player. Rajiv had visioned that India should play its role in SARC, but there was the complaint from the SARC member countries, because of which SARC could not become successful, that India tries to have superposition. Only Gujral period some changes was brought, Gujral doctrine, but Gujral term was short-lived. Therefore, SARC could not find its space what it deserved. SARC is even today a moribund institution. SARC needs to be revived in a new format, new way, with new policies. We'll discuss about it separately. But Rajiv wanted that SARC should come together. South Asian countries should come together for economic, cultural, transportation, communication related support system. Okay. So these changes are balanced approach. Nehru's idealism, Indira's realism, and Rajiv Gandhi tried to have balanced approach. So on the one hand, he wanted an idealist position of disarmament. On the other hand, he was not ready to compromise India's sovereignty by signing NPT. On the one hand, he wanted in South Asia, India should be dominant player. On the other hand, he wanted to work hands in hands with the other countries of the South Asia as a brothers. So his politics was balanced one. You say a blend of a mix of the real and the ideal politic. Okay. So it is development till Rajiv Gandhi. We have two major, very important developments. The last one is more important. That last one is a Modi period rightist policies are very important. So that I will be covering. Liberalization phase, Narasimha Rao, after that I.K. Gujral and Vajpayee ji, then Manmohan Singh in one go, and the rightist policy under Narendra Modi and another go. Two phases we have to cover. Very important phase, very significant, that we will be discussing in the next class. So in today's lecture, if any query, any questions you have, you can ask. Relating to what I have taught. Otherwise, in the next session. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.